Hello and welcome to today's Maker Lab, recorded 65.5 million years ago in the Cretaceous period. Pretty exciting time travel today. What we're going to make for you are fossils. Are you aware of fossils? Things like dinosaur skeletons, eggs, bugs from the past, things like that over time have turned into rocks or solid objects from way back. We're going to have you make your own. Now, there's a couple of steps to making your own fossils. First, you need an organic life form. Hey, I'm an organic life form, but I don't want to be a fossil quite yet, so let's start with something, how about this scorpion? A nice, Cretaceous, ancient species of scorpion that we don't have today. What can we learn about it if we have a fossil? The next thing you know, if you've got your living organism, is burying it under rocks. Regular organisms decay over time, but if something gets buried by rocks, it can eventually have all the water and soft tissue in its body replaced by minerals. So if this gets buried by rocks, Okay, that's all right. It's now buried by rocks. And now we need to jump forward 65 million years to get our fossil. Easy, right? Let's travel to the future. It's just a jump to the left. All right, let's check on our fossil. So here we have the impression of our scorpion. You'll notice its nice body is no longer there. All of those soft tissues, those juicy pieces on the inside, like blood and veins and things like that, have all been replaced by minerals. That happens as if something gets buried and doesn't decay over time, or trapped in tar or another preserving surface, groundwater will still move through that body. And as the water moves through the cavities of that body, it replaces things like blood and tissue with minerals. Could be crystals, could be other kinds of rocks. And over time, as those minerals take the place of the bones and blood, you get a stone impression of the creature. Now, you may not have 65 million years to make a fossil, so I have got a fast-making fossil that you can do with me here today. Let's do the recipe for our fast fossils. First thing you're gonna want, regular old flour. This can be bleached, unbleached, wheat, whatever you have available. No need to run out and buy something if you don't have it. Go ahead and stay home. It's one of those things that you may eventually just have lying around. So it is 1 cup of flour. All right, cup of flour. Dump that into our fossil bowl here, our great tub of science. Next, we're gonna need about 6 tablespoons, that's 6 tablespoons of salt. Iodized, non-iodized, it doesn't matter. We're gonna be doing about 6 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In with our flour. Mix that up a little bit. Go ahead and start using your hands. This will eventually get pretty dirty anyway. The next, we need an equal amount of water that we had to the salt. So it's going to be about 6 tablespoons of water. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now that we've officially put together some glop, hopefully you can see that, this is going to make a flour salt dough. And this is the part where your hands can go ahead and get a little bit dirty. So let's mix that all together. Start by stirring it up, but you're going to have to get your hands in, start kneading it. I'll show that to you. Most dig sites find fossils, but ours, we will definitely be making them today. Get your floury glop together. And what you want to do now is to knead it, which means push, mash, crush, and bend in your fingers until you've reached a smooth ball. I'm gonna add just a little bit more water. Careful with that, the more water we add, the longer it'll take to dry and to form our fossils. The goal is under 65 million years this time. So knead that together until you've got a smooth ball of dough. Should be a little bit gritty with all that salt mixed into the flour. Once you've done that, you've got your smooth ball, you're going to want to make a flat disc or whatever you'd like to create your fossil in. I think flat discs work the easiest. So we'll go ahead and press that flat. We can just do that right in our hands, nice and easy. I want a smooth ball, I'm going to keep at this. There, and the more you work it, you can see how the texture changes on that ball. A bit gloppy, but if I keep working it in my hands, it gets a bit smoother. Once we have a nice smooth ball, I'm going to flatten that. Throw the recipe at you again. It's 1 cup of flour, 6 tablespoons of salt, 6 tablespoons of water as necessary. And then knead for a few minutes until you get a ball. Smash that ball into a nice flat surface or plate. The thinner it is, the shorter amount of drying time it will have. All right. So now that we have our fossil dough, we're going to need something to make an impression. That's why my friend has come along. Hey, I thought I left you in the Cretaceous period. No, that's all right. We can use you to make an impression on the fossils. It can also be fun to color it a little bit. So I'm going to add some brown paint to a bowl. Our time-traveling dinosaur friend here, who I haven't named, but I love your suggestions in the comments, is going to dip his big foot into that brown paint. And then we are going to press it onto that dough. Make sure it doesn't drip too much. Let's see. We'll go ahead and push him in there. Oh, this is gonna look good. See those feet making impressions there? Fantastic, friend. Back you go to the past. History should stay put. All right, so we've got our impressions that are going to become fossils. In this case, these rocks here are going to harden over time, preserving the impression made by that dinosaur. So, now that we have the dough, we can go ahead and let that sit for 48 hours, 2 days, as long as it takes. Like I said before, the thinner it is, the shorter drying period you will have. And afterward, once it hardens, you'll have a nice solidified piece of rock that contains your fossil. If you have added a little bit of color, it'll be a little bit more dramatic. You can also poke holes during the drying process to create one that you can hang with a piece of yarn or string or what have you. So the science here is a little bit different than with our dinosaur project. Here, we've combined salt, flour, and water. And when all of those bond together, it forms a dough. But once the water evaporates out of that dough, the salt and flour are still bonded. And without the water to make it pliable, it becomes hard like stone. So, that's similar to what we've done with our dinosaur fossils, but something you can easily do at home. Now, I hope you've enjoyed that. I'll see you at the next Maker Lab in the future!